Anunhore vortvoye voquinsur po. Amen. Welcome to Sunday Expressions. I'm here to share with you today's message. Here at Sunday Expressions, we follow the Armenian Church calendar, bringing the teaching of the Armenian Church to you, to all ages, to your families. Most importantly, putting Jesus Christ in the center and letting that light of Christ radiate in all its forms. I have a special treat for you today. We're going to be adding a hymn to our service. It's called Sharagan in the Armenian Church. That's coming up in just a few moments, but let me share with you today what today's message is about. It's about the Holy Translators, something that goes into the past history, but has applications to our lives right now. So in the Armenian Church, this weekend, we celebrate the Holy Translators. And these are a group of people who have translated the faith. They begin, the list that begins with Saint Mesrop Mashtots, who is a 5th century personality. And the list ends with Saint Nerse Shnorali, who is a 12th century personality. And in those 700 years, there's quite a few other people, one of which is a guy named David Anhacht. That literally means David the Invincible. Now, this invincible title was given to him not by the Armenians, but by the Greeks, because he was a master debater. Now, the Greeks were big time. They knew how to debate. They knew all that stuff. But David was one who overtook all of them. He won all of the debates. Now, debate is something that maybe I need to explain because, unfortunately, we don't do that too much these days. Debating is an exchange of ideas. It's a dialogue. You hear me, I hear you, and we exchange the ideas. David Anhacht was invincible, a philosophical debater. But there's a lot of others, and the one thing that you'll notice about the translators, this group of men that translated the faith, they were not contemporaries. They all lived in different time periods, but they were grouped together as translators because they brought the faith to people. They translated the faith. Now, this is not just something about language skills. No. Now, let's start off with Mesrop Mashtots. In the 5th century, he develops the Armenian alphabet. He develops it for one particular reason, to translate the Holy Scriptures. They were in Greek, Aramaic, Hebrew. He translated it to Armenian. To do that, he needed an alphabet. And this is what people forget a lot of times. The reason why we have literature, the reason why we have an alphabet was because of the needs of the church. A lot of times people forget that it was the church that demanded that we have these tools before us. And so because of that demand, we have an alphabet. And that alphabet created a language that we can now write down. In fact, the 5th century was known as the golden age of literature. There was so much writing that was going on. The Armenian alphabet, a beautiful alphabet, and it's worth taking a look at if you have a chance with your family. This is one of those things where we're trying to get this community going virtually. This is an opportunity for you to stop right now and maybe share some ideas with one another. Talk about what is that alphabet. There you go. We'll put it up on the screen. Now you take a look at it. All the different characters there. Saint Mesrop was responsible for 36 of the letters, but actually there's 38 now because they added 2 more, the O and the F sound, and there's a whole bunch of reasons why they did it, primarily because of different words and different sounds. But the beauty of this alphabet is that it accommodated our language, the guttural sounds such as and the there's differences there. So we have letters that we don't need to put together, like the ch. You don't need to put a C and an H together. No, we have a letter that's ch. So these letters were created for the primary reason of translating the faith to people. Now, because of that, we were able to take the message of Jesus Christ and bring it to the Armenian people in a language that they understood. Remember this, okay? Translation is not just about language skills, changing a language, but it's to simplify the message. That's all it is. There's a message, you translate it, you take what's complex, and you simplify it so that people can understand, people can absorb it. Now, I'm going to give you one more right now, okay? And this is something that I want you to take a moment now with your family to do. It's part of the experiment for today, to emphasize how important it is to take the complex and simplify it. I am going to play for you a sharagan. This is a hymn of the Armenian Church. It's called Movsesian. It is intended exactly for today, for the Feast of the Holy Translators. And as they sing this sharagan, this hymn, you may not understand the words, but I'm not asking you to understand the words. I'm asking you to understand the entire hymn. You know what I'm talking about? It's understanding with your heart. In fact, we're putting together a little collage of pictures. Please do this with your family as we listen to Movsesian. Now, if you did this properly, you should have understood what was going on over there. There was visuals there was sounds, and that's one of the things that we're going to constantly emphasize, that as an Armenian church, we're holistic means of letting that faith come into our lives. When you go into an Armenian church, there's so many different expressions there. That Sunday expression is one that comes to us in sound. We hear the voices, we hear the music, we hear the prayers. It comes to us in smell. The aroma of the incense, it fills our nostrils and we know where we are. There is sight. You look at the beautiful pictures over there. You look at people, one another, the smile in your children's eyes, the smile in one another. There is touch. We touch one another. We greet one another with a holy kiss. And of course, there is taste. You taste the Holy Communion. In fact, so important is that we have a sharagan, a hymn that says, Jashagetsek yevdesek zikachzereder. Come and taste of the Lord and you will know how sweet it is. Now, look at this. We are engaging all of our senses. And this tells you that translation is more than just words. It's understanding with the heart. And that's what today's message is about. The Holy Translators tell us that it's not about a time period, but it's about right now. How do we make Christ real in our lives? And don't be scared to use all the resources that are available to you. Extend yourself. Have some creativity. It's not just the words. It's not just the music. It's not just the sights that you see. It's not just the smells that you have. But it's everything coming together and telling you that God has made you into a beautiful creation that can take all of this, process it, and celebrate. The celebration of life, of course, is the Translators' goal. To take that celebration, the one that God has given us, placing Christ in the middle and seeing it for all it is. The Holy Translators gives us the chance to be one with our senses, with our world, with one another. And that's what it's all about. Being able to love one another, care for one another. The Holy Translators. It's this feast that we celebrated. Next week, we're going to be looking at Luke chapter 4. Very special story coming to you from there. Until then, I wish you all the best. God's blessings be on your homes. Please like us and share your comments in the comment boxes wherever you are listening to this, wherever you are seeing this video broadcast. On behalf of our team, the Apostle team, we invite you to our website, epostle.net. That's apostle with an E. And also invite you to join us again next week when we'll have another Sunday expression. But we're looking on growing this, and we need your help. If you were blessed by this broadcast, I'm asking you something real simple. Share it with your friends, share it with your family. There are so many places throughout the world right now that are hurting, that need that OG Christianity that the Armenian Church has. And what we want to do is we want to share this message throughout the world where there's so much hurt, there's so much pain. Every week, we anticipate on growing, on expanding the reach of this show and our message. I need your help. Please drop us a line. Check out the comments below this video. Leave something there. More than a thumbs up, maybe just tell us what you thought of it. I'd love to hear from you, and we look forward to seeing you next Sunday. Same time, we'll be on.